Hey
Hey
guys,
guys,
Learnatsu here, and I have with me,
Crimson. Nice to meet y'all.
and today we're gonna be doing what if Suku was a necromancer?
Slash have a younger brother.
Well,
We're basically putting it together.
yeah, we're doing two what ifs at the same time, but the
Where
character that will be the younger brother of a person named Izuku Midoriya, but not our main character for this story, will
is
come in a later part.
yeah. So grab a snack and enjoy the ride.
And we'll start this off in the middle in medieval times, where Suki will be born, or as he will be named in this time,
Arthur,
Arthas Van Smoke.
Arthur's fin smoke, whatever. And
Yes,
I'm pretty sure his life in medieval times would be hard yet exciting. But things go a dark turn when he saw his parents brutally murdered by rogue wizards or sages, whatever you guys call them.
yes, they and these were mages of each type of magic.
Fire, ice, lightning. Basically, anyone. Basically, if you see My Hero Academia, whatever quirk you can think of, that's what quirk they have.
Yes,
Or magic.
and in this world, Quirk was originally magic.
Yeah. So if any of you made theories about quirks being magic attached to their bodies or whatever, this is your type of place.
And we skip over to when Arthas was 10, 2 years after he saw his entire family killed.
And let's just say his rage and bloodlust for vengeance grew over time of those 2 years.
Well, no. Let's just say he learned to control the anger and rage.
Yes, he learned how to control it because he knows anger and rage can be a powerful thing that nobody can control.
Yeah, and it's also his greatest weakness because
So
he can easily get lost in it.
yeah, and his judgment would be clouded. So you have to strain himself very hard to be
Yeah, and he
focused.
meditated for 2 years straight.
And if you want to know what his meditation looks like, if you saw Jen in Dragon Ball Super, that's what he looks like, basically.
Or Piccolo from Dragon Ball.
They both are from Dragon Ball, but yeah. So he's, but he also learned a lot of magic.
Yeah, no. Uh, By the time he's 10, so, uh, someone finds him just hunting for food.
Yeah, but something small, something that he can handle.
Yeah,
Like,
but he hasn't tried to kill any animals. At least not yet. And this person is quite. Is like in their 50s.
yeah, so he's quite uh old, but the type of old person you can trust to train you a little bit, like your local kung fu master.
Yes, and Arthas did not trust him at first because he's seen him in maid robes.
So it took it took this old man, which I'm gonna call Shifu. If you guys get mad at me for saying that, I do not care. He
It's and it took this Shufu a few times to get Arthas' trust.
but over time he was able to get Deku to trust him enough.
And yeah, when he took him back to his household, which was humongous.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he did get trained in a lot of different type of necromancy or magic or whatever you may call it.
First, well, he was trained in all types of magic, but necromancy was even the first. Because necromancy is the most hardest to learn.
Yes, necromancy is very hard for mages to contain. Even great mages have to take years of toll of take a huge toll on their body just to learn even one necromancy.
But for Izuku, he's a prodigy in it.
So yeah, he took a lot of magic well, making making like what Nessie here say, uh, an amazing prodigy.
And yeah, now we're gonna time skip to when he's 20.
Yes, he is now 20, so he's a lot more mature and stronger. So
And this is the first time he encounters someone with a certain type of material that he hasn't faced before.
yeah, he saw them with the material of steel, or was it steel?
No, he encounters people with anti magic metal.
Oh yes,
This is the first time he ever encounters them, so he thinks it's just regular steel or something like that.
like that. But until he actually get hit with it, and he knows that it's not rig, he now know it's not.
Yeah, and the moment he gets hit by an anti magic sword, he sees that some of his magic is then pulled towards the sword.
Yeah. Yes, so he do realize he can't always rely on his magic, and he knows he needs to get his hand in some of those anti-magic metal steel.
Yes, but he uh he doesn't go for the anti magic steel. He just goes for something stronger, but doesn't have that attribute of stealing magic.
He goes for vi vibranium.
Not yet, though. In the
Yes, not yet.
armor that he is wearing is this one right here.
Which is made out of steel.
Yes. And we skip to when he's 25 and he's as good at non-magical uh, weaponry or hand-to-hand combat as he is with his magic.
Yes, it since he was a prodigy, it doesn't take as long for him to get adapt to that type of non-magical whims, but he was able to push through it.
Yes, and he is, and and the amount of people that he has risen is over two 200.
Yes, he yes almost over 200. In fact, yes, even over 200. He doesn't, but Isuke does have that cockiness personality. He's more humble with his
Yeah, he's
skills.
calm and collective, and cold sometimes.
Yes, he can be a little bit cold towards some people, but once you get to know him, he's actually a really nice guy that is sometimes cold.
Yeah,
But
but
sometimes,
there's a one thing that always has kept with him. If you were kind to him, he would return that kindness tenfold.
yeah,
But
like
if
Uncle
you
Iroh.
try to use him or betray him, he will return that in thousand folds.
He's basically like Uncle Iroh. He's basically like a green version. He's like the green version of Uncle Iroh.
Yes, and if you've watched a certain YouTuber, you would know where I got that from.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and by this time, 5 months after he turns 25,
He found he finds something very interesting that could help him later on.
yes, he finds a scroll of all things.
And this scroll was more unique than other scrolls he found it.
Yeah, it was encased in ice. Very powerful
Yes.
ice indeed.
Yeah, so he thought he could use a really strong fire magic
Well,
to
and before he did that, he didn't notice runes on the ice.
what type of runes here? What type of runes does he have?
Magical runes that could deflect any type of magic.
So he had to get smart before he uses his magics.
Yes, and then he saw a rune in the center of the, like, right in front of him. And he knew this type of rune. And it was one where only people that were worthy of this could get through the ice.
So that means if Deku wasn't worthy, he was not able to get through the ice.
In fact, he would get killed immediately,
But
just by frostbite alone.
yes, and luckily for Deku, he was worthy enough to go.
Yeah, he was completely worthy for this, so the moment he put his hand on it, his hand went straight through the ice, and he didn't feel cold at all.
So then when he got the scroll, I'm pretty sure what you guys think could be he just read the scroll and went on, but it
No.
seems
The moment he grabbed it, two golems came from the ground, and they looked at him intensely with fire eyes. Well, one
yes.
with eyes made of fire, and one with eyes made of, well, ice.
So I decided to call them the Golden Brothers. Don't
And that's
don't judge
exactly
me.
what they are. They're brothers, but from different, but of different elements.
Yes, the fire ice golem was of the fire golem family. The ice golem was of the ice golem family.
And yeah, Zuko slowly, well, Arthas slowly opened the scroll. And the moment he opened it, it immediately started to go open a lot faster. And then completely opened, then a spell rune activated.
And
And it
this
pretty
rune,
much just give him all the information, like immediately. All the words started, like, you start seeing the words start going into Arthas' eyes.
he can basically and literally see all the words in the scroll.
And yeah, and this type of rune makes it so you permanently remember this. You can't forget it at all.
So that means he will have endless memories of this room, no matter how much he wants to forget it.
Yeah, but he wouldn't want to because he sees this as one of his greatest memories of all time.
As he should. So,
Yeah, then he would look at the scroll and there was nothing on it anymore.
but he can definitely see the words. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, but on the scroll there was no words whatsoever. They were gone.
Like, like, like as if they're magic.
And yeah, then Zuko would roll up the scroll and then change the size of it with a type of magic and place it into his pocket.
And then he went off his merry way.
But before he could do that, there was an avalanche happened, and the cave got closed in. Well, the entrance of the cave got blocked off,
Making Isuku stuck.
and yeah, Suku only knew. Yeah, Suku knew one thing. This was work of mages.
And that's the only thing he had ever hated in this world. Mages.
That and people that harm the weak.
Yeah, so if any of you think he's gonna hate Bakugo, you wanna hate him exactly? He was just dislike his choice in life.
No, he'll look down on him and show disgust towards him.
Yeah, that's the nicest way I could say that. But that's what
Yeah,
he really meant to say.
and the moment he sees him bullying Izuku Midoriya, he'll just pop up right behind Izuku and look down at Bakugo.
Then Bakugo would just run away.
Yeah, and this would be the first time he would see Bakugo bully. So yeah.
Someone else. So yes, this would be when Arthurus will Arthurus teach Isuku necromancy or what?
Well, this is gonna be like way in the future, and I don't think Zuku might be able to.
Yes, yes, he might be able to learn some necromancy.
Yeah, but for now, let's get back to where we were. And yeah, and Arthas could actually hear some mages on the outside.
Yes, and they're probably chuckling and
Yeah, they're like,
laughing.
"Damn necromancer, he better be dead." And then we would hear another one say, There's no way out of there. He'll starve to death.
But in
Yeah, but unknowns
Arthas,
to them, and what what Arthas knew was that there was two golems there.
one of one of fire and one of ice.
Yeah, then Arthas just looked at both of them in the eyes. Yeah, yeah. The moment he looked at them, they went down on one knee and bowed to him.
Have respect.
And
Yes,
and to bow down to their new king.
yes.
Because their
And
previous one told them to told him whoever is able to grab the scroll and read it and not die will become your new king.
so Isuku, bec- Arthas, right? Isuku,
Arthas.
Arthas,
There you go.
Arthas became the brand new king of the golems. And since
Of these
Arthas,
golems, yes, because he saved them from complete extinction.
yes, and since Arthas is smart, he knows what to do with the ice, and one of them is a fire golem.
Yeah, and then Arthas would say, Fire Golem, Ice Golem, is there
He
a,
said,
can you give me a way out of this cave? Then they would nod their head slowly because they're golems, stand up, turn around, and start making and just put their rock face on the wall behind them and start melting it and freezing it at the same time, making a pathway.
for Arthas to get through.
Yeah, and it would take him to the very top of the mountain because this mountain, this cave was in a mountain,
So he had a way to escape.
and before he got to the exit of this mountain, he found a room filled with materials
For him
in
to
a in a workbench.
so being how Arthas is, he didn't let these items go to waste.
Yes, he knew that his armor wouldn't work anymore because it was very rust. It was starting to rust and and there was a lot of damage on it.
So he made a brand new armor.
And that was this. And he created a sword as well. And he
That's right.
imbued this sword with ice magic and necromancy.
So 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 this suit of armor will last a little bit longer than his old one.
Yes, he made sure of it. He imbued it with a type of magic that would allow a item to last a lot longer.
That means if you search items aren't break as easily than
So yeah. And then he would get to the exit and he would see three mages still talking at the entrance of that cave.
and since these mages are really dumb, they did not see who they killed is is about to turn them into dung.
Yeah, then he used a destruction spell, and he would be like, destruction magic, earthquake. Then he would slam his hand on the mountain, and it would just split the earth in half where those mages were at.
Yes.
And the moment where they couldn't climb out of the gap in the earth, he closed that crack in the earth, and it
Yes.
killed them.
Yes. So those mages are no longer a problem. No more
Ye-
is the one.
yes, and one thing I forgot to mention about the necromancy: anyone that had fully good intentions in life had to make a pact with Arthas to come back alive. But anyone that had evil intentions in life and did any bad things, they will just be mindless ghouls.
Forever.
Yes, and they will have to do every order that Arthur says.
So yes, that's what happened to the bad ones. The good ones are completely fine.
And when Arthur asks for their aid, they will have to come. Like the pack is as long if you only have to answer to my call. You don't have to die for me
All you have to do is just answer for the call.
and fight with me.
Yes.
So yeah. Then we skip 5 more years.
That
And
so that means he's Arthas is like 31 or
30.
yeah 30.
And Arthas helped the golems families to be the same population it was before and also make a new element at the same time.
Yes. And what
Steam.
steam?
Ice and water equals steam.
This is this ice and fire golem.
Yes. And one of them was
Also,
female.
oh, never mind. I do not need the description.
If I never mentioned it until
Yes.
you asked. Anyway,
Sorry about that. I'm back. Can you
alright.
still hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can. Anyway,
Anyway, what he tried when I was trying to say was after that he made the fire and ice golem made a steam golem
yeah,
with
and
the
that
power of thunder.
and they became and the steam golems were stronger than both fire and ice golems.
Yes. So that means that steam golem would will help revitalize the whole species.
Yeah, and by the time Izuku turned 30, well, Arthur turned 30, the population of the golems was back up. But
Yeah.
that wouldn't last long for the
Yes.
golems. And also by this time, Zuko finally found the immortality. He finally master the immortality spell without using it.
Yes, which mean he needs
And the moment he mastered it, he got all the items he needed for it to work.
yes. So that means when he's a molo, he may look dirty, but he could be 5,069 years old.
Yes, and he will look like
Yes, he will.
this when he fully turns immortal.
Yes, Arthur's became
Arthur's
something,
skin, hair, and eyes would change color.
and he will have strange markings around his body.
Yes, those markings would be these ones right here.
And I think the sharp teeth was already there when he was born, right?
You're talking about this one, right?
Yes.
Oh no, that's for a different what if.
Ah, not Molo. Anyway, so that's what Arthas became after he achieved his immortality.
And yeah, by the time he finishes immortality, yeah, we skip a day later, and here we see him running away, fire, firing fire magic backwards towards mages that are trying to kill him. And he's lowing, and he's running low on magic, on mana.
Yeah, so he have he have to think of something quick, or else his immortality might end.
Yes, and then he saw an ocean, and he saw like a vortex, and he's like, yeah. Then we do a flashback to the old man, and this old man is telling him of a legend of every 100 years. There's a vortex that opens to another world.
And this was that same vortex.
And yes, also during this time, Suku Arthas has been trying to seal magic away, and he almost completed it, but then the mages started to attack him during that ritual to seal magic away.
So he couldn't get to finish that ritual, and he ended up in the My Hero Academia world.
Well, no. That vortex would send him to the world of One Piece.
Oh yes, I almost forgot. He was sent into a vortex to the One Piece universe.
Yes, and this would, in the time, he would be at 900 years before the canon timeline for One Piece.
Yes, yes it will.
And yeah, and he would pass out because he was very low on mana. Just low enough to where he would pass out.
Yes, not enough that he would die, just enough he will lose his stamina and be tired.
Yes, but even if he would completely, but even if he was completely out of mana, he wouldn't die. His immortality would keep him alive.
Yeah, so you just most likely pass out.
Yes, and we would see a female walk over to Arthas, and see him knocked out with all this armor on.
So he decided to take him back, but have to strip the armor off. Not what you guys mean
Yes,
when I say
she would just take off the armor and nothing else.
and nothing else. He will have decent clothes on.
Yes, and we see this person.
This is
My,
I have no my
yes,
my
yes,
my.
which is spelled like this.
Yes, MAI. My.
My, and yet Arthas would wake up and immediately just jump off from the bed that he was laid upon and get into his fighting stance, getting ready to attack. Because yeah,
Yes,
he does not know where he is technically.
and he'd be extremely confused about where he is or what his surroundings are. And when
No, then he
that
would look around and see that he's in a room, a guest room, as he sees it, and he would calm down a little bit. He'd be like, "Calm down, Arthas."
he'll then realize he was probably been picked up by a traveler and been taken into his home so he can rest.
Yes, and he went immediately, and yeah, he went thinking into he wouldn't care about the gender, so he'll be like there, home.
Yes, he will appreciate it since they were kind enough to help a old man in need.
And yeah, and I forgot to mention one thing.
Hmm?
His fists are for anyone. So basically, his fists are bisexual.
Yeah, his fist is like Vigo from DC Comics.
Yeah, he will just punch anyone that gets in his way. Well, that try to kill him or something like that.
Yeah, Vigo don't care what gender, race, age you are, or what
Yeah,
height you are,
he. Yeah, Arceus does not care about your status or whatsoever.
or height.
But if you're a king of something, he will want to challenge you and see how strong you are, and if you truly deserve that title.
Yeah, so if he was filled by All Might, and since he have the title of the number one hero,
Yeah, but he ain't the king of heroes, technically. So he
yes,
went, and Arthur would tell that, yeah, All Might is way too weak.
everybody would know he was way too weak. But we get into
No,
that
even in his prime, Arthur would see him as too weak.
yeah, but we don't get to that until a little bit later in the story.
Yeah, possibly the third or fourth part.
Yes, we get into My Hero Academia, where in the second or third part.
Or maybe even longer, because we're gonna be in the One Piece world for a while.
Yes, and that way, once to get into get into the My Hero world, especially the summer will meet will be waiting for him. Where you guys would be surprised who who would be the new president, and that's what it would be because you guys really gotta like him or hate him. I don't care which.
And yeah, he would he would look down and see clothing he wasn't wearing earlier. It was like pajamas,
And
and
he was,
weirdly, it fit him perfectly.
yeah, and he was just think, I should be embarrassed, but these
No,
are
he's like,
custom.
no. The first thing he was thinking, how the hell is this fitting me?
And I bet the second thing he wonder is who who dressed me when I was knocked out.
And yeah, then he would look beside him and see a tiny golem, and he'd be like, no. And it would kind of look humanish.
Yes, until the go Gotham actually moved, and it was not a Gotham at all.
No, in fact, it was a golem.
Oh,
This golem actually hid in Izuku in Arthur's pocket before he went into that vortex.
so that means with
Yeah, this
Arth-
golem was made completely from a golem and Izuku's magic.
Arthas.
Yeah, Arthur's. Ugh.
Sorry for saying Izuku. That was supposed, that was supposed to be a surprise in later on in the story.
But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so Arthas see a golem that was made out of a golem and his magic.
Yeah, and he was just like, ah, so you came with me, little one.
As the little golem said,
And yeah, and it would grow to its normal size, which was the same height as Arthas.
as the golem said,
And yeah, Arthas could easily talk with golems. Like, ah, so you're the one that dressed me. And yeah, and he would just pat, basically technically his child on the head and be like, that's a good lad. Yeah, then he would hear someone walking up the steps. And yeah, then he would realize, oh, I'm on a second floor. Alright.
as the girl got in
Yeah,
defensive.
then before this person could come in, Arthur just looked at his little one in the eyes. And yeah, just, from just with eye contact, just said, shrink down. And what it did, and hopped into, just hopped to Arthur's armor, which is not too far away. In fact, it's in that guest room. And just hopped into a pocket of that armor. And then the person walked in. Well, not first. And yeah, Arthur would say, you may come in.
As Mai wanted to check up if he was okay, under how he was dressed.
And yeah, he would just be like, I am fine. Now, who you who may you be?
As Mai said, you were injured in the forest somewhere while I was traveling, so I took you back to my home and stripped you of your armor so you can recover more. But now you have to answer my question. How are you dressed?
Hmm.
Anyway, how are you dressed?
Yeah, then he would just be like, hmm. And he would just shrug his shoulders.
And okay, that doesn't answer my question about how you dress, but I
And he would just say, I just woke up with this on. So, your guess is as good as mine.
okay now answer this next question. Who are you? And why does it look like you were from a Renaissance fair?
My name is Arthas.
Arthas. Well, my name is Ma. And what were you doing with armor like that? I never seen a pirate with armor. It's or whoever you are must be a shrew.
Let's just say I came from a land that doesn't know the outside world.
Oh, okay, really. What type of pirate are you?
And yeah, he would just, I would just say, I am not a pirate at all.
You can't trick me with that. You have a sword. You have armor that's look like that's made of someone else's treasure. You're obviously a pirate.
I am not a pirate.
Oh, so are you a knight?
That's the closest thing to I am, yes.
Oh, then so you're a knight. What's your title?
I have no title.
Okay, what king do you serve?
I serve no one but myself.
You're okay. Got from that that I'm a rogue knight who's extremely emo.
All I can say is I'm a dark knight.
Oh, I've actually read about you Dark Knights in my studies. I heard you guys are supposed to be of great power and honor,
Yes, we are.
and I'm looking at you now, and you guys are a lot cuter outside your armor.
And yeah, he would just be like, and yeah, he would just like, just call me cute. And yeah, and she could see a tiny, tiny blush on his face.
As Mike said, "Oh my God, you never been complimented by a girl."
Haven't been complimented by anyone. And
Oh,
yeah, and she would see a very serious face.
as Mike said, "Oh, sorry about that, mate."
It's
Well, anyway,
fine.
matey. Well, anyway, matey, welcome to my ship.
And he was like, ship?
Yes, I took you on my ship so you could get better.
And yeah, then he would stand up. Yeah, and he would actually focus and sense his surroundings. And be like, so that's why he's moving a little bit.
Yes, just don't get seasick on my ship. Throw it overboard.
Oh no. The only type of sick I am,
Is
I've
mentally
gotten
sick.
over it a long time ago.
Oh, I thought you can say the only sick I am is mentally sick.
No, I'm sick.
Oh, you have any pets you need to go back home to?
And yeah, he would, and his face would turn into a sad one.
As
And yeah, and he would just sit down on the bed. And he's like, no,
oh, sorry about that.
I have no one left.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, mate. I know how that feels to lose someone. But I decided to look on the brighter stuff in life. I was able to make new friends, which give me the determination to protect those who I care about now.
At least you have that. And he would give a sad smile towards her.
As the tiny guns was grunting like, is he sharp differ? As Mike said, okay, what is that and can I step on it?
No, Gollum wouldn't say anything because, yeah,
I said grunt.
well, wouldn't grunt anything because, yeah, he knows when his father, with question marks, would want him to grunt or speak.
Yeah. So
So,
anyway,
and he's very obedient to his father, quote unquote.
yeah. So anyway, mate. So matey, you must be hungry. Come to the come to the top deck. You have enough meat and fish and fruit and water to make you, I see, wave your hand. Let's look like a toothpick. No way to eat something, mate.
And yeah, and he would look at himself and be like, huh, I guess I have lost a lot of weight.
A lot. You look like if a were saw you, he would use you as a toothpick.
And yeah, he would just chuckle a little bit.
So what do you prefer? Chicken, burger, raw fish?
Anything will be fine.
Okay, I see. I see. Both went up to the top deck, and Maya said, "Mateys, I brought a brand new member of the crew. Unless he wants to."
And yeah, then yeah, yeah, then he was thinking, when did I ever say that I was joining? And yeah, he would be saying that in his head.
Anyway, matey, you get to love it here because on this ship, we see each other like family. We eat together, sleep together, clean together, use the same bathroom together, make beds or cleans the bathroom together, and if we get that sorted, and tonight is beef night, so I hope you don't lose the bet.
Ah,
The meat makes us have bricks.
ah. And yeah, and then Alexis would say in his mind, I think I will like it here, in this
Oh,
new world.
and guess what the best part we like to do? We love to sing sea shanties.
And yeah, this whole time, he would have his arms behind his back, just calmly walking.
Mate, listen up. You look, you listen up, mate. We're pirates, not not the queens of England.
And yeah, he would just give off a genuine smile and like, I know, just I'm used to this.
As mate, as Mike said, so far you're not the weirdest guy I ever met. The weirdest guy I ever met comes of the Pirate King.
And yeah, and he would raise an eyebrow and like, and yeah, his
Oh,
teeth would start to show a little bit and like, Pirate King, you say?
yes, his name is Luffy. He may be a scrawny piece of bone, but
Oh
I
wait,
know.
Remember, this is 900 years before the canon timeline.
Yeah, I know.
So this would be Goldie Roger instead of
Yes,
Luffy.
yes, yes. Oh, oh, why you have that smile on your face when I say the word Pirate King? Oh, you know if those people who like to fight some people to see if they're worthy of those titles, are you?
Let's just say from the island I was on, I ca- that was kind of that type of habit was forced upon me.
Uh, whatever you say, mate. But anyway, the Pirate King is named J.B. Gold. He's he's quite powerful in different styles. So he is not bad of a blade. Not he's not bad of a blade, but he is good with anime he was born with. And like every pirate here, we each are born for anime or special ability.
Hmm, I see.
Yeah? What?
And yeah, he wouldn't say anything. He would just give off a smile that got a little bit bigger.
As my said, okay, stop smiling, guy. You could.
And yeah, and he was like, and yeah, he was like, and yeah, he would actually remove his hands from his back and start stroking them, waving them, and be like, "Sorry, sorry."
As my said, so yeah. So on my ship have different abilities. For me, for me, I'm good at some stuff, but my abilities is my mind. I'm all for technician, but I'm not. But that doesn't mean I can't fight for myself. I can handle my own.
And yeah, he would just in his mind he would like, "Noted."
In fact, I'm the captain of this ship. Captain Mai. Wow, that's so. Wow, that sounds so much dumber when I say how.
And yeah, he in his mind he's actually trying to hold back the laughter because yeah, it did sound very funny and stupid.
So anyway, want to know why? Want to know why they used to call me Stabber instead of Mai?
And yeah, he'd actually raise an eyebrow and be like,
You see that door over there?
and he would look over to the door.
I see did something impressive. Took off her crewmate swords, kicked them at straight at the door, making a letter M. And when new mate, that's why they call me Stabber. I
Ah,
killed.
I see.
Yeah. Mhm. One time, one time my father trained me so hard, I was able to kill a fly with a 90-mile radius.
Hmm. Never heard of that before, but you learn something new every day, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I told my dad after I got my first scar.
Hmm. And yeah, then Mai would actually notice those scars on his arms. Finally, and one on the back, like at the side of his neck.
um, hey mate, can I ask you something? It's okay if you're not comfortable with it.
It's fine. It's fine. After all, I sh- I do think I should get to know you guys better.
Well, well, first off, my name is Mai Yoin, but I got my first scar when I was 10 when I have to fight a hammerhead shark. After 3 days later, we were eating the hammerhead shark, and I got a necklace of his teeth.
Hmm.
The, se- the secret to killing a hammerhead shark: make sure he cannot make sure the hammerhead shark cannot escape his windpipe from your thighs, and and look him straight in the eyes.
Hmm.
With and at the age of 9, I was officially called the Shark Eater. That's because I could separate sharks. Blood Bloodfish over there is called Bloodfish because 3 days ago I literally asked him to stop punching his fish and kitty bears. Breakneck over there is called Breakneck because age of 12 he was there to break a hammerhead shark with his bare hands. And if you ask me, every one of us have been nicknamed because of a hammerhead shark.
Hmm.
Like for example, my younger cousin Bites. You can The reason it's called Bites is because he at the age of 5 he literally bite off a hammerhead shark clean off his body. He didn't even have to do it. He just wanted to do it for the fun of it. So if I was you, mate, I would keep my distance from him. So if you get to know him better, he really enjoys nipping.
Hmm. And yeah, then he would smell, and he would reach for his back pocket and find me. Like, and yeah, he would be just confused on how they got there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I kind of have to put that on you since I don't really know you, so I have to take certain precautions.
And yeah,
You
he
had a sword. You had a sword. You have a sword with weird looking. You have scars all over your body more than my younger cousin. So I, I got a little bit concerned.
and yeah, then Arthur would just sniff the meat and just like, hmm.
Well, well, Arthas, what you
Then he would
doing?
just say out loud, "Gator."
Oh yes, that one was cast by my younger cousin. He thought we didn't have enough protein, so he wrangled, took took a alligator to death, break his neck, and now you're gonna eat him.
Then yeah, then he would just be like, hmm, all right, and yeah, then he would
Enjoy.
yeah then yeah then he would just toss it into the air and then just put his hand into a karate motion and just move so fast that he cuts the meat.
Well, break my pet leg and call me no beard. That was amazing, mate.
And yeah, he would just keep cutting it until it's into pieces he could eat easily.
Mate, I have found a new name for you.
And then he would just grab all the pieces and start eating them one by one.
Matey, I got
Then
some good news.
he would look up to her with just one eye while still eating the meat.
What whatever your name is, I hope you like this name better. From this day forward, I'm calling you Sword Hand.
And yeah, he would just shrug while still eating.
As Mai said, hey Biter, you have a new sparring partner. And please try to make him like you a little bit because most of the crewmates here almost thought you were gonna kill them the first day.
Yeah, then after I finished my last piece of meat, well, he finished his last piece of meat, he was like, by the way, the name's Arthas.
Well, Arthisa, since you're going to be living here for a while until you get your bearings or whatever, you have to get acquainted with most of us. Starting with my cousin. Please, he needs friends.
I'll try, but be warned. I in the island I was in, I didn't make friends that much. Heck, some some of them were afraid of me for some reason. Never knew why.
Oh, trust me, he can take all the friends he can get. We know on the first day on the first day I got this ship, he started talking to that chair you are sitting on right now.
And yeah,
He
he would just look, yeah, and he would scan, yeah, and while he's listening to mine, he would look throughout the whole crew, and then finally find someone that looks pretty close to her, and he'll be thinking that must be her cousin then.
um hey um mate, that's not my cousin. That's my sister. The little guy next to her is my little cousin.
And then no, and he technically said that in his mind, but yeah,
As the little guy looked up to him and said, "You must be knife hand."
and yeah, he would just give the little lad a smile.
Oh, I'm Bites, but my real name is Fanged. It's very nice to meet you, Swordhand.
And yeah, then Arthur would put his hand on his chest and like, you may call me Arthur's little one.
Okay, Arthas, your land must be full of wonderful warriors.
Yes.
Well,
And yeah, then he would just, and yeah, then Arthur would just give off a sad smile.
as Fang said, Arthas, I know it must be hard to leave or see one of your loved ones passed away so suddenly, but on this ship, we can be no family. We already saved you, and I think to me, that's enough to make us trustworthy to be no family.
And
As long as
yeah, Arthur would just be like, maybe not family, but friends.
as Fang just immediately hugged him and said, "Finally, my first friend that didn't have to be paid to hang out with me."
And
Have
yeah,
you?
and yeah, immediately Fang would feel Arthur jump a little bit.
As Ar as Fang said, "Okay, okay, baby steps. Okay, baby steps. I got your
Then
message."
no, then you're like, no, no, it's fine, it's fine. Just haven't been touched that way in a long time.
Oh, I get it. You haven't been held with positive reimbursement in so long. You don't know how to react to it yet.
Yeah.
It's okay, Arthas. I know how that feels. Have you met me? I just made myself even sadder than I am.
And yeah, then Arthur would just be like, kid, I barely know you yet.
Oh, well, my name is Fang. That's the captain's younger cousin. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, then Arthur just put his hand out, like, well, I'm Arthas, or as your cousin calls me, Sword Hand.
Sword. As Fang take Sword Hand's hand and said, I can tell, I can tell, you're pretty quick with your little sword hands there, Sword Hand. It's better than the nickname Z gave me, Bites. I mean, I still don't know why people call me Bites.
Hmm. From what your cousin told me, it's because you. It's something about a edge, a shark. Can't remember exactly what she said though.
Okay, okay. Oh, that hammerhead shark thing. Oh, I bet of a head of a hammerhead shark. And it was a
Ah, that's what it was.
and and for her information, it was a hammerhead shark. It was a great white shark, and I was upset and hungry that day. You know what, Arthas? Now that I'm hearing myself out loud, I think I know why people call me Bites.
Yeah,
I'm more surprised why they didn't call me Sharktooth.
and yeah, he would just. Arthur would just laugh a little about that.
As Fang said, you know what? That's my new name. Cause my new name is Sharktooth.
And
As
yeah,
anyway,
then out of nowhere, first, then Arthur would just stand up from where he was and just look out to the sea.
as Sharktooth, aka Fang said, it's beautiful, isn't it? The wind on your face, the smell of the salty air of the ocean. This is the pirate life, buddy. As I always say, another day, another thing I can sink my teeth into where I sorely was it die. As Fang said, wow, no one, wow. So this why my therapist is scared to sleep at night.
And yeah, then Arthur would just be like, "It is beautiful, yes."
As Fang, as Fang said, but there's one problem there is with the ocean.
What is it?
As he pointed at a giant fish fan attack said, giant fish attacks. Or as I like to
Oh,
call them, or, or as I like to call them, my dinner.
oh, those things.
Yeah, if you think those are big, you should see the shark. You should see the shark I bit off when I was younger.
And yeah, then Arthur would just walk back into the guest room that he was in, and grab the
Arthas,
armor and sword back. And yeah, the sword would go into the sheath that is on his side, and he would walk back out.
as Fang said, Arthas, what are you doing? And may I, and Arthas, I have two questions. One, what do you think you're doing? And two, if you, if you kill that thing, I'm keeping the skeleton.
I'm just getting into something more comfortable for me.
Oh, that's nice. But
Yeah,
but
I've
not.
worn this for a long time, I so I feel comfortable in this.
Oh, that's nice. As long as I get to keep the skull.
And yeah, then the whole crew just saw how Arthur's armor looks like, which is the second armor that he has created.
said, "Well, well, armor sucker, let's see what you can do." I was talking to fish, Arthas, not you.
And yeah, Arthas would just continue looking at the sea, being very calm.
As the giant fish that Fang pointed out came out and said, "Arthas,
Yeah, then Arthas would look towards him.
one, I usually do the killing of fishes alone, but would you do the honor of helping me with this one?"
And yeah, then he would move away from the edge of the ship and walk towards Fish. And be like,
As
sure.
as Fangs cracked his neck and said, "Well, I haven't done this in a while, but I I've been practicing a brand new move I want to try out."
And
Now,
yeah, then
Fang,
Arthas would mo- remove his sheath from his belt, from his armor, and place it to the side.
as
And
Fang
start
said,
cracking, and then he would start cracking his knuckles. And
as
like,
Fang said, "Oh, you're doing it agapaka, you're doing it commando style. I thought I was the only one."
I didn't just train in the way of the sword.
You also trained the way of fish. Yeah, but
Yes.
yeah, I
Now,
heard it from my sister. She annoys me a lot with it.
yeah, he, then Arthas could get into weird scenes that literally no one in the crew has seen before. And like, now, shall we?
As Fang just smiled deliciously and said, "I was born with sharp hands."
And yeah, then it's like, and then Arthas in his mind would be thinking, how much speed should I go for this? Let's test him out first. So he would go his to his lowest speed at first.
So do Fang. The Fang jumped up, fly down to the fish, and said, "Arthas, go, go, go!"
And yeah, then in when Fist would go for the Fist first attack, Arthas would just counter it real quick by grabbing his wrist and throwing and tossing him to the side.
As Arthas said, as Fang said, "Arthas, the weakness is the neck. Make an opening for me."
And yeah, Arthas would be like, why not? And then he would go a little bit faster than what would Fist do next.
As Fang got on all fours, then start running animalistically. Jump off the boat towards the fish. Open the mouth and get out the beast. Beast wild. Fang death release. As they all see a huge, sharper teeth image version of Fang's teeth that cracks the fish neck and a lot of blood spew out. As Fang looked down at the fish and said, "Looks like you're my dinner tonight." I
In
like fish food.
yeah, Arthas would just grab the fish and be like, may I?
As Fang says, sniffed the fish and said, "Yep, he's dead. Nobody can survive one of my attacks."
Yeah, then Arthas would toss the fish in the air and then just jump up to the fish and move as fast as possible to chop up the fish into pieces small enough for everyone to eat, or just Fang to eat.
As everybody saw how much Fang is eating and said, and Mai said, Arceus,
And yeah, then I would just look over to her and be like, "Yes."
I have seen a lot of crazy stuff, but no man will been standing here with a straight face after my brother pulled that.
Well, I have eaten bigger things.
As Fang said, can we keep him? I promise I clean up his mess. As Mai said, that's what you said to the last person we got, and you ate him 3 weeks later.
And
As
yeah,
Fang said,
our face would just be like, "Huh, that's something new."
as Mai said, each time we find someone new, Fang plays with him, but once they saw even a hint of evil, Nez Fangs eats him and keep the bones as trophies.
Ah, that makes sense.
As Fang said, "Oh come on, who doesn't like a little bit of a bone collection once in a while? I mean, I don't
Then our face would just pop in and be like, "Bone collections can be good, but humans, really?"
as Fang said, uh, oh come on, at least I was humane about their deaths. As Bloodface, you literally cracked their legs, and when they beg for mercy, you said each breath you take is enough mercy for me. As
And yeah,
Fang
then
said,
our face would just be like, "Even in the land I was in, I wasn't that ruthless."
"Oh come on, you just bought a new guy, and everything about his land was brutal. Please, sir, compared to me, I'm a little bit tame."
Yeah, you are compared to my land.
As Breakneck said, a little bit tamed.
Oh no, he's compared to my land, he's a mouse.
As Fang said, "Thank you." As Fang just realized what he said and said, "Hey,
I
hey, I'm not
I
a
mean that
mouse."
literally. You would be killed immediately.
As Fang said, "Now I want to meet your man." As Mai said, "No." The last time someone invited you to the land, you you nearly ate the whole population. As Fang
Oh,
said, as Fang said, "Hey, it was the land of bandits." As Mai said, "Bandits or not, you could have so a little bit more of humane." As Fang said,
then
"Let me
Arthas
guess,
would
you mean
say, my, to tell you the truth, it would be the other way around for your cousin. They would eat him alive. Literally.
as Mai said, "Yeah, considering what you're saying about your land, it's true." As Fang said, "See, see, so there's a lot more people that are brutal. There's a whole lot more brutal than me." As Mai said,
Yeah.
as
There are
Mai
some
said,
people in that land that will just torture people for fun.
as Mai said, so basically my brother, so basically like my younger cousin with bad people. As Fang said, "Hey, I don't torture them. I think of it as playing with your food." As Mai said, "You know, and this is why all of us have a nightlight around you." As Fang
And there's one thing, and that's one of the things I hate about my land.
As Fang said, "Let me guess. You hate people with evil intentions and you think they can't be redeemed unless they sold to be redeemable. But you also like good people with redeemable qualities and have good intentions."
Close enough. But
As Fang,
there was a lot of people in my land that would just torture innocent people. And only innocent people.
as Fang said, while patting the back of his leg, saying, "Well, Arthurus, guess what? You're a part of this crew now, and all this crew does is plunder bad people and give to the poor.
At
Everything
least,
of
and yeah, and I would just say, at least I was able to kill almost half.
as Fang said, speaking of which, do you have any spare parts of those people you killed?
I don't believe so.
As Fang
And
said,
I never ever done that. I've only would have kept their parts if they were they were nothing but evil.
as Fang said, oh, come on, man. So you don't keep the body parts for safekeeping.
No, I do not.
As Fang said, well, that's one quality that made me disappointed because
But
that's
I do have one head. That's it.
as Fang said, can I have it?
No,
As Fang said,
it's my
huh?
trophy.
As Fang said, huh? Worth a try.
And yeah, then he would be like, speaking of which, and then he would just just quickly put his hand into his cape and pull the skull out, which still had the skin and hair on it.
As Fang smiled and said, Arthurus, that looks like hey Arthurus, want to know something funny?
What?
That looks like the exact same skull when I made my first kill.
Huh.
I guess I guess we're more of the same.
Well, this technically wasn't my first, but it's my most proudest.
As Fang said, ah yes, your first is always your proudest.
But this wasn't my first, so. And he would put it back into his cape.
As Fang said, so Arthurus, what's your weapon of choice?
And then, yeah, then he would just point directly at his sheath, which still had the sword in it.
As Fang said, cute, but there's more than knife than just using a simple blade on your hands.
You sure about that? And then, yeah, he would walk over to. Arthur would grab his sheath and then pull the blade out. And it would. And yeah, the sheath would just pretty much. The sheath would just make it look like a small sword. But yeah, it would look like this one right here.
Yes,
In the second
as
picture. In the second armor and sword that he created. The first sword he created and the second armor he created. So yeah.
yes, as Fang said, yes, I'm sure. I mean, look at me for example. Do you think I get my size? Let my size pull me back?
And yeah, and Fang would actually look closer and see like some type of writing on the sword.
As Fang said, hmm, huh, I studies. Hey, Arthurus, can you come here for a sec?
Sure, Fang.
I mean,
And yeah, and he would just and yeah, and the moment Arthas would take a step into light, they would start to see like some type of blue light coming from the sword.
as Fang said, let me guess, Arthurus. Your sword is made of a iceless fire material. You're not of this man or world, correct?
Honestly, I do not know.
As
Right?
Fang,
I technically took this from someone that was very
As Fang
evil,
said,
and yeah, and this would be a lie on his part.
as Fang said, might take a closer look.
Sure, but I suggest you don't touch it.
As Fang said, don't worry, I touched a lot of stuff and I haven't died once. As
Yeah,
Fang,
then Arthur would just be like, "Watch this," and then he would grab a piece of meat and bring it close to the sword, and then immediately just turn it into ice.
as Fang said, huh, I've seen that before. I was turned to ice for 3 months straight and I was still alive. As May said, yeah, that's true. So
Yeah,
he's,
then
he's,
the ice, the color of the ice would actually start to get darker and darker with each second.
as Fang said, okay, and okay, I won't able to survive that one. So just put your sword down and let me expect it for a sec.
As far as I can tell, I'm the only one that it won't affect. So,
As Fang said, yes, but Alpha Ware had to identify weapons, if you don't mind. As Mai said, yeah, let him do it. He's really good at identifying the weapons, including what they're made out of.
here. And yeah, he would carefully place it down. And then
As
he would
Fang
just be like,
says,
then before Arthur would place it down onto the wooden ship, he would be like, wait, and he would guard the sheath and place it right under the sword. So it wouldn't
as
start freezing the ship.
as Mai said, I really had my cousin identify weapons.
As long as he touch it, he should be fine.
As Fang started sniffing the sword, looking at it, and did a weird move that no one, not even the crew saw. They saw a huge image of a tongue, but it didn't froze. Then he spits it out in the water and said, uh-huh, yeah. Sword made 5,059 years ago, made a fire and ice, magic, and been, been made into
No, wait,
a
remember, there's no
weapons.
magic in this world.
Oh, not magic, like,
Yeah, so they don't know what magic is at all.
oh, like, I'm just gonna say, like, fire and flame thing, okay?
Yep.
I mean, fire ice thing. As he just said after spinning out whatever was he said, yeah. Sword made sword made 5,059 years ago. Made with fire and ice type thing I can identify and made into a coated 30-inch steel of a weapon that is good for stabbing and plundering and turn into a sword.
And yeah, Arthur's gonna kind of be surprised that his entire body didn't freeze.
As
Yeah,
Fang said, was I right?
and yeah, in his mind he's like, "Not even close, kid." But in it, but he would say out loud, "That was pretty close, yeah."
As Fang said, I was not even close, was I?
And yeah, it's like, I'm that bad of a liar, aren't I?
As Fang said, your eyes and nose twitch when you lie. I may cannot identify weapons that well, but but my eyes are a lot better than everyone here.
And yeah, and Arthur's was just like, damn it. Damn it.
So that means we cannot hide or we can't lie. I can identify how anyone is lying, but I can't identify what that sword is made out of. Which is weird because I can identify a lot of stuff what they're made out of.
Yeah, as far as I know, It is made out of a very powerful metal, and it was. And uh, unlike you, I am very good at telling how old weapons are. And this is only like two, 20 or 30 years old.
As Fang said, huh, older, huh, you're at least younger than my cousin. My cousin is 350. As Mai said, I told you that in confidence. As Fang said, stop stealing my fish.
So she's like 35.
As as Fang said, yeah, yes, all of us may look young, but we're actually quite old. Like, guess what my age is?
Hmm. Hmm. And yeah, then he would just sit down and cross. He would just sit down and start thinking. And yeah, then he would think so much that yeah, they would start to see steam coming out of his ears.
As Fang said, don't hurt yourself, guy.
And yeah, then he would get out of his trance of thinking and he'd be like, 30. No, 25.
As Fang said, 119. As Fang said, I'm 119.
Huh.
But you're a lot closer than everyone else in this ship. Every one of everyone in this ship thought I was five.
You don't even look 5.
As Fang said, that's why I keep telling them, but apparently my size beg to differ.
To me, your sign's telling me you're like, I don't know, 20?
As Fang said, nope, 119, no, 150. But you're pretty close to saying the least.
Mine, to me, she just looks like she's in like her 20s.
Well, you're wrong. My cousin is 350.
How old do you think I am?
As Fang said, I don't know, 225.
No, not close. Well, you're kind of close, but not there.
As Fang said, older or younger?
I'll just tell you. I'm since your sister's 35. I'm 5 years younger than her.
As Fang said, hey, hey sister, you finally have a young boyfriend to hang out with you. As Mai said, I said I was sorry. As Fang said, you broke my favorite weapon. Do you have any idea how much this cost me?
And he's like, do you still have the parts of it?
As Fang said, yeah, what's half of it? As he just put out a tiny twig.
Where's the rest of
As
it?
Fang, as Fang said, that's why I said at least half. That's what, as Fang said, like I said, what is left of it?
So, what did it look like?
As Fang said, well, surprising to no one on this ship, it was 16 inches taller, with three sharp spikes at the end and one lying on the other end.
Hmm. Question, Mai. Do you have materials on this ship?
As Fang said, I you kidding me? I have materials hidden all over the subjects who don't know about. Like that chair you're sitting in, it's made out of demon wood. That that lamp post you see over there, that is made out of firewood. I've so much stuff hidden around this except we've been using it without even knowing it.
Hmm. Okay, Fang, get me some wood and metal.
You want wood and metal?
Wood and metal.
As Fang said, what else metal you need?
Just enough to make a weapon.
As Fang takes out a stainless steel metal and birchwood. As Fang said, you were specific on the wood you wanted, so here's birchwood.
Is it strong enough to? Is it strong enough to where you can make it as a weapon? If it is, good.
As Fang, as Fang said, I made this wood, and it's strong enough to take on a volcano.
Hmm. Then that's perfect. Now, yeah. Then he would look around the ship. He'd be like, why not? Yeah. Then he would quickly remove his cape, his cloak, place it to the side, and then yeah, everyone would see a lot of tools on his back of the armor.
As Fang said, I didn't know you were bigger like me.
Yeah. Then Arthur would just say, "You could say that," and then he would remove all the tools from his back and place it onto the cloak. And he's like, "Now," and then then he would start to breathe in and breathe out.
As Fang said, good luck fixing that. I know this weapon. This was a weapon I made. It was infused with nothing but fire, ice, water, and stainless steel. Over
Yeah, then as soon as it,
500
then
hours.
before Fang could finish, Arthur was just going crazy fast working on it, like so fast that his hands were a blur.
As Fang said, whoa, 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 whoa. Are you actually? This cannot be it.
Yeah, then slowly but steadily, they saw like kind of no fast. They saw Arthur's building the same exact weapon that Fang described.
As Fang's mouth dropped and said, Arthurus?
Then he finished. And like, finish. But sadly, I cannot add those elements. What is as close as I can get?
As Fang's mouth dropped and picked up his weapon and said, Arthurus, the material I used was over 500 years old of this time. How did you able to recreate my beautiful weapon?
Easy. Simple. I when I make a weapon, I make an image of what I want to create in my mind, and I do it. Simple as that. So when I ask you what your weapon looks like, that gave me enough information.
As Fang, by time when Arthur finished, Fang did a weird sound that Arthurus never heard ever as Fang shouted that finally the lion of the west returns with his weapon.
And yeah, Arthur would just be like, hmm. Yeah, Arthur would just be thinking, he is weird, but weird I like.
As Fang said, hey my, here's a warning for you. Break this again, I break your legs.
And yeah, then Arthur would just be like, yeah, Arthur would just be like, if she breaks it, I will make you another.
As Fang said, I know, but you know how it is when someone loses a beautiful weapon such as this one and never knowing how to build it. then fell in a deep anger for years.
Hmm.
As Fang said,
I sadly do not know that emotion.
as Fang said, trust me, you know that sword thing you got?
Yes?
If you ever lose it or be broken, you will know, you will know that feeling all too well. Just like your feeling of your first kill of a Maris line, which ironically that's how I got my nickname. I killed that lion.
And yeah, he'd just be thinking of his first kill which was the final test for his training for magic. He had to kill his master.
As Fang wanted to ask, hey Fang, I mean, hey Arthur, hey Arthurus,
Yeah, and he would. Yeah, then he would shake his head and close his eyes. Yeah, then he would get out of his trance of thinking of the past and like, what is it?
as Fang said, want to know what I can do with this weapon?
What is that?
As Fang decided to do the same exact thing you saw Maui did to Moana when they got to the realm of mass monsters. As Fang said, Kalamaraha! As Fang jumped up in the air, places his weapon down as he finally made his ship fly with a lion made out of fire holding the ship up.
And yeah, he would just like, that's interesting. And then he would just, yeah, then he would put all the tools back onto his armor's back and place the cloak back on.
As Fang just pointed at the lion at the bottom of his weapon and said, you see that lion?
And then he would just look at it and be like, I see it.
As Fang said, I carved that as my symbol. It's a symbol of my pride, loyalty, and willingness to protect my family.
Ah, I see.
Why? What else you think the lion stands for, Fang?
Hmm. Honor, pride.
As Fang bunked him on the head, saying, "You forgot the most important thing, dummy. Family."
True. But one of the. But lines do have one thing that, that I do not like that much. Greed.
I'll be right back, Nezu.
Alright.
You can. As Fang said, you're correct. And what do I? And here's what I always say about family. Family is the strength of the pride. The strength of the pride is the lion. The strength of the pride is a lion. The strength of the lion is his pride. You can never go wrong with your own pride.
And yeah, then Arthur would have his cloak back on with the tools on the back of his armor again. And just stand up.
Uh, Fang said, "You understand my, you understand my mysterious, just finding friend."
I do.
As Fang had his eye closed the whole time and said, "Yeah, if you notice why my eyes are closed, I don't like opening my eyes because I think people will judge my eyes a little bit much."
Yeah, then. Yeah, and they would realize that, yeah, he had his eyes closed the whole. That Arthur had his eyes closed the entire time as well. Not open them up once.
as Fang said, and just by sensing your presence, I can tell you don't like to open your eyes once either.
Mainly because I think you're. I mainly because from experience, people from my land were scared of my eyes.
Where people feel in love with your eyes,
No, they were scared of them. S-
as
so much so that they wanted to be as far away as possible from me.
as Fang said, Armis, what's his name again?
Arthas.
Arthas, people of your land may be scared of your eyes, but out here, you can be yourself. So you can open your eyes whenever you want to.
And yeah,
Even,
in a winch, yeah, and you're like, would you like a peek at them?
as Fang said, well, since you guys saw us your eyes, when you saw us your eyes first, I saw my eyes too. So yes, show us your eyes.
Give me a second, people. In which they would look like this. Yeah, he would
as
open one of his eyes, and it would look like that.
as Mai said, wow, we're not scared. I'm impressed. As Bloodface said, yeah, your eyes may look funny, but your eyes are unique. As Fang said, yep, even though I can't see them, I can feel what they look like, and I feel like they look very beautiful. As Mai said, you should keep both of your eyes open more. They're very pretty.
Yeah, then he would open up his other eye, and it would look completely different.
As as Mai said, well, it's an eye, but it's yours, and it's very unique. Still, we don't care what your eyes look like. They're very nice. As Bloodhead said, yeah, your swear that eyes may look different than your other, but your eye is an eye, and it's unique and beautiful because it's your eyes.
And yeah,
As
like,
Fang said,
and to everyone's surprise, like crazy dark red tears would start coming from his eyes.
as Ma, as Mai said, huh, this is a little bit weird, but we deal with weird stuff all the time. As Fang said, you open your you open your eyes, Arthur, Arthurus.
And yeah, both of them were just open.
As Arthurus, as Fang said, well, Arthurus, you ready to see my eyes and the crew's?
And yeah, when Arthas actually, and yeah, he could only sense presence when his eyes were closed. But then once he looked around, he saw, well, how everybody looked. Yeah, and
He's
with his with the eye that has red lines and is mostly purple, you see purple and red. But with the other eye, he pretty much just sees the opposite. He just pretty much just sees everything like the opposite color of what it actually would be.
As Fang then said, well, I guess it's my turn to open my eyes, isn't it, Arthurus?
You don't have to,
As
Fang.
Fang said, as Fang said, no. My pride is on the line, and I made a promise. As Fang said, you guys will be okay with my eyes, right?
I and yet others would just say, I don't. I don't change my opinion on people just because of their appearance, even
As
their
Fang
eyes.
as Fang said, after waiting 900, after waiting centuries for someone to say that. As Fang opened their eyes, and Fang's eyes look like fists.
And yeah, artists would just like, hmm, those
As
are
Fang
some
said,
unique eyes.
as Fang said, yeah, yeah. Back in me and my cousins fitted. I used to call the Crimson Lion eyes.
And yeah, then I would just remember something. Then artists would remember something and be like, huh, I only known one other person that had eyes like yours.
As Fang said, really now, is it a girl or a boy? Because I'm in desperate need of a girlfriend.
And yeah, he would just then artists would just show a sad face again, like
As Fang said,
she was my little sister.
as Fang said, oh, I'm sorry. I mean no disrespect to your family.
It's fine. You didn't know.
As Fang said, I bet little sister was a very nice young lady, and I bet her eyes. I mean, I bet she was a beautiful young woman, and I can see her now, up there, smiling down at you, being proud of
And
her.
yeah, more of his tears would start to come from his eyes, and you're like, yeah, she was my precious little angel.
As Fang said, well, I bet your little angel is proud of what's of how you grown. And I'm sorry if I brought up anything that was uncomfortable.
No, no, it's fine.
As
It's just
Fang,
hard to think about that.
as Fang said, hey, Arthas, I, I would like to show you something.
And yeah, you would just like, what thing?
As Fang took out a mind-shaped shield and said, this is for you. Use it with honor, pride in your soul.
And yeah, you would, artists would just give off a worn smile
As Fang
and
said,
like, thank you.
as Fang said, you're welcome. And since your sister has gone out on higher blaze in the sky, I made sure to make both the eyes her make both eyes the same color as her eyes. So when you look into it, it's like your little sister is there with you.
And yeah, he would just give off. He would actually give off the warmest smile he could ever make.
As as Fang said, at first I felt really warm and confused. As Fang said, "Am I coming down with something, or is this pride or happiness? What is it, Arthur's?"
And yeah, Arthur's would just say it's the first time in so many years I've gotten a gift.
As Fang said, as he smiled, said, "Well, happy birthday, Arthur's."
And
As
yeah,
Fang just burst out laughing and said, "That is the cringiest thing I ever heard." As Fang said, "And the moment is ruined and it's gone. Thank you very much, cuz."
and yeah, I would just like it even close to my birthday though.
As Fang said, "Well, my cousin ruined the moment. The moment's gone, people."
And yeah, I would just feel like ah, ah.
As Fang said,
And yeah, I just start laughing a lot. And Arthur was start laughing. And yeah, this is the most fun he's had in years.
"In years." And when Fang says again, said, "And Arthur's, this is the first time I ever opened my eyes and I can see a whole lot more clearer."
And yeah, Arthur wouldn't say, I haven't opened my eyes since, well, I was 15.
And Fang said, "Really? I think we're the same. Except I haven't opened my eyes since I was 9."
Well, my family didn't really let me outside of my home.
As Fang said, "Problems with your mental health too, because my family has my nose because I won't stop eating sharks."
No, they were scared of what would happen to me.
As Fang said, "Well, they must have done something right to raise us strong."
And they were kind of right.
And as Mai said, "Fang, you are officially his new son." As Fang just stepped on his cousin's feet and said, stop ruining moments."
And yeah, I would, I just would just say, no, no.
As Fang said, but she's half, but she's not wrong. You're all more of a father figure than as in this ship. So good job.
I don't consider myself a father or anyone.
As Fang said, well, continue living your life and you'll surpass yourself.
So, as far as I'm concerned, I am no father.
As Fang said, do you know what I said? Do you know what I said 503 years ago? As far as I can be concerned, I'm not a technician, but here I am. I'm smarter than everyone on this ship. As Mike said, only battle tech is smart.
But, and I'm pretty sure you don't have that much knowledge.
As Fang said, at least I tried. At least I tried, man. Give me something.
Fine, fine. And yeah, and then they would finally notice that all of Arthur's teeth are sharp,
As
like as sharp as a shark's teeth.
as Fang said, Arthas, I think you're my new brother because we're twins. Sharp teeth, sharp teeth.
And yeah, and yeah, and And yeah, you they would also see that a few of my teeth were completely black, but look
As
completely healthy at the same time.
Fang said, but first we really need to get with your dental game because your teeth is extremely black, healthy
And
but black.
and he was like, "Oh, that I have no idea what's going on with that."
As Fang said, well, at least your teeth is healthy and strong at the same time.
Yeah, he was like, in fact, he's like, hmm, ah, and he would grab a piece of steel from his pocket that he had, and it had tooth marks in it.
As Fang said, hey, hey, did you get into my did you get into my circus stash?
No, this is my own.
Oh, you bite into metal stuff too?
Well, I only done it once,
As
and
Fang
I only wanted to test out how strong my teeth were.
as Fang said, right, because considering those bite marks, the rest is from a huge gerbil.
Well, I did try to bite into this one. I was like, I don't know, 10?
As Fang said, Arthur's, we need to have a lot of fun, you big guy.
And yeah, you would only see like one bite mark on that steel.
As Fang said, oh, so when you learn your teeth for second to bite still, you just stop.
Yeah, I once I knew my teeth were strong enough to get and pay to get into this. It's I knew my teeth were strong.
As Fang said, shook his head and said, nope, that's not right. You know why?
Hmm.
As he put out a biteless uh, man steel that was uncovered in bite marks and said, if your teeth is strong enough to do it at least a dent, you know what you should do?
Hmm.
Strain your bite. As Fang bite that's bite the unbitten metal stick in half and said, if you strain your bite, you can do that.
Oh, that. Hmm. Ah. Yeah. Then he would get into his back pocket and grab the strongest metal he had, which was completely black metal.
As Fang said, kid, I just told you, if you don't strain your bite, you
Yeah.
can.
Then Arthas would open his mouth, place this metal inside, and then crush it.
As Fang said, huh, your question game is good, but you still need to bite the mouse in half. How about this? I
Yeah,
show you
but
how to bite.
but yeah, that was the moment he bite down on that type of metal. He pretty much broke it into pieces.
As Fang said, huh, uh, hey, hey Arthurus, I
Hmm.
have a question. Since both of us have a good amount of bite power, how you like me? How would you like me to train you? There's a lot more you can do with your bite than just bite.
No, no, thank you. I think I'm fine with how I know.
As Fang said, alright, but I promise you, I am a great teacher.
And yeah,
Besides,
Arthas would just be like, if you want, if you want to train in how to use your weapon better, you can come to me.
as Fang said, well, I haven't used this thing in a long time, no thanks to a certain someone. As Mike said, He's still hung up on that.
And yeah,
But as
Arthas
Fang
would
said,
just be like, hmm,
so
hey Mai, is there a weapon you would like?
as Mai said, I I don't use weapons. In fact, the Fang there is the only weapon expert we got. As Fang
Well, then
said,
you got a weapon master on your hands.
as Fang said, you're a weapon master.
Well, yeah, I know every type of weapon, and can easily tell what it's made out of and how long ago it was made.
As Fang said, so can I, but I can barely what your weapon is made of because your weapon is more unique.
Yeah, I all I know of it was that it's made out of a crazy strong metal, and it was made 10 to 20 years ago.
As Fang said, dang, I am getting older. As Mai said, this weapon needs a nap. As Fang said, well, the young lady better get off Grandpa's face before he puts a little girl over his left knee. As Mai said,
No
so
offense, but you're younger than me.
as Fang said, as Fang said, point taken, but that doesn't mean you can call me small.
Oh no, I wasn't going to.
As Fang said,
I'm just gonna call you a little one a lot.
as Fang said, I, well, since you only call me little ones because my age, I'm allowing that.
Yeah, and
As Fang said, well, let's just get to the point. As he bluntly say, can you train me? Can you train me to use my weapon more efficiently? I haven't used this in years.
sure. But first, I'm gonna show the crew something that might shock you all.
As Fang said, my eyes shock the crew. I think we can handle more shock.
Yeah, then I would be like, what's the strongest steel you have on this ship?
As Fang said, the strongest steel I have on this ship is made out of a combination of iron, nickel, and steel and iron.
Then they're like, I think I
As
might have
Fang
something.
using
Yeah, then he would go into his cloak and search, and then he would finally feel it. And like, ah, there you are. And yeah, and he would look like white, black, and purple. A white, black, and purple metal.
as Fang said, what, you couldn't find any red metal? And what is that?
It's a very rare metal that I found on my island.
As Fang sniffed the metal and said, these metals are the strongest. These metals are a whole bunch of stronger than the metals I used to fuse together to make this bad boy.
Yeah, then he would be like, all right, here comes the second part. And yeah, he would hold out his arm, grab the edge of, grab a, pull out his sword real quick, stab it into the boat, and then grab onto it, and then hold the metal as tight as possible, and then close his eyes real quick, and then and hit with full force, hit his arm with it.
As Fang said, dude, we just here to don't break your body again.
Yeah, then the metal would the metal would just the part of the part of the metal that was hidden off his arm, that part of it would just break off and just it would just make a socket at that part of the metal.
As Fang mouth dropped and said, how?
And yeah, and the whole crew saw this as well.
As Fang fell on his knees and shouted, I'm no longer the master builder.
And yeah,
As my
I just yeah, and my arm would be twitching a little bit because of that pain.
As Fang said, "Well, well, Arthurus, you're training me, and you just stole my job of being the crew's builder."
And yeah, yeah. Then I would start to. Then my body would start to lower down. Well, Arthur's body would start to lower down because yeah, he hasn't done. He hasn't gotten that much pain in a while. So
As Fang said, "Oh, see, Arthur, you just, we just healed you, man.
and
Hold
yeah,
on."
then he would quickly get his balance again.
As Fang said, "Wow, fast at healing and fast at breaking stuff.
And
Unique
yeah,
and building stuff, man."
and this then the second surprising thing, they would see like some type of like ice gas coming, type of gas that was made out of ice coming out of his mouth.
As Fang said, "Wow, wow, he's also my opposite, and I am loving this. What is this?"
And yeah, he would, and yeah, his arm, and yeah, I would see like some type of ice forming on his arm.
As Fang was a smiling cutely and said, "I don't care if he stole my job. He is awesome."
And yeah, then then I would just fall to my knees because yeah, I quickly realized yeah, I wasn't fully healed. And yeah, I would just like, and I would just say out loud, "Oh shit," and just fall to my knees.
As Fang walked up to Arthur and said, "Hey, next time you try to pull that, wait until your body is fully healed and up to full strength."
And yeah, Arthur would just say, I should have realized that.
And another thing, next time, don't try to freeze my ship. As Mai said, yeah, he's the one who built us this ship.
And yeah, then they would log, and yeah, it even frees the ship.
As Fang said, "Okay, you have to teach me to control my breath to do that."
And yeah, I would just be like, and yeah, and yeah, Arthur would slowly slow down his breathing.
Yet Fang said, as Fang said, "Oh, your breath user too. And I can see you have a very powerful ice breath."
And yeah, I would just be like, no, that's just what my breath is. Just pure ice.
As Fang said, "Oh, I'm in the fire category."
And yeah, and then I would just be like, and yeah, then then Arthur would feel something stuck in his throat, and it's like, and yeah, he would start coughing, and yeah, and you would see smoke coming out of Arthur's mouth while
As
coughing.
Fang did the Heimlich maneuver. I'm pretty sure they have
Yeah,
Heimlich
but
maneuver.
before he could do that, Arthur would put his hand out, and yeah, then Arthur would breathe in through his nose, and then a giant amount of fire come out of his mouth,
As Fang said, "And your fire is 3 inches bigger than mine."
and he was like, and yeah, then he was like, sorry about that. Something got stuck in my
As
throat.
Fang said, "Wait a minute, fire?" As put he put his weapon in the fire, and he said, "Ice." And she saw a little bit ice left from the ice breath. Then he put his weapon in the ice, and then his weapon started glowing and said, "Finally, she's complete."
And yeah, he would then Arthur would lay himself against the edge of the ship.
As Fang said, "Ice, ice as snow, flame and burn. I made you disperse."
And
As
yeah,
they s-
then they would look at then Mai would actually look at his eye that is white and black, and some like black, some more like black lines would pop up on his iris of that eye.
uh, said, "You okay there, buddy?
Yeah,
Because
but only my yeah, but mine was only looking at his eyes at that moment, so mine only noticed.
as mice asked, matey, you okay? You need to rest."
And yeah, Arthur was just like, "I'm fine." Yeah, and he would try to get up. Well, he would struggle a lot, but
As Fang said, "No, stay down. You need to rest."
and yeah, then his completely purple eye would start to glow a bit, like glow red, more red.
As either crew was concerned and want to know what's happening.
And yeah, he started to see my, and yeah, I decided to take off my armor because yeah, I felt like it was weighing me down a bit. Yeah, and they start to see all my veins just showing all throughout my body where they could see.
As Fang said, "Dude, you you are quite fangy for someone of your height."
And yeah, they still saw my uh, purple eye glowing red where the lines are at.
As everybody says all together, and Fang was pushed out and said, you go get him, little guy." As
And yeah,
Fang
then
said,
I just slowly started walking to the guest room I was put in.
as Fang said, "Well, he's just going to sleep there, big guy." As Fang,
And yeah, veins started to pop up on my head, like just more and more each time I moved.
as all the crew and Fangs agreed to let let our new guest rest for a while until he gets things figured out. As Fang said, "Correct," and "Who call me little?" As they spent the next few weeks and months let him rest.
And yeah, once he got to his bed, he made sure he quickly, under his breath, he said magic that would lock the door and make it so no one could get in, except if it was the captain or Faye.
Yes, because right now that's the only two people he trusts.
Yeah, that he trusts almost completely.
As Fang,
And yeah, then he
you can go.
and at night of that day, he used magic to transport his armor back into the room.
As
Wait, and
Crews,
let's say no one was on deck at that night.
as Fang got concerned, decided to bring him up some dinners in case he got hungry.
And yeah, Arthur's body was starting to act up. So yeah, and yeah, he was pretty much in like a deep slumber where he will have to sleep for a few days.
As Fang keep on bringing him some food for like 2, 3 days.
Yeah,
I
but
think
yeah, then the first time, and yeah, then the second day he came to bring him food. Yeah, each time he got closer, it got colder and colder.
as Fang start telling said, I really need to get a coat. Like, come.
And yeah, then once he opened the door to Arthur's room, there was it pretty much there was ice everywhere in the room.
As Fang said, I really, really get a new coat.
And yeah, then Fang looked at Arthur and saw that he was breathing way too fast.
As Fang just dropped the food and went up to see if Ar- Arthur's Arthur's was okay.
And yeah,
That's
and
why
then Fang checked his heartbeat, and yeah, his heartbeat was going way too fast. In fact, Arthur was having a heart attack.
as Fang said, dang it, as Fang used some heat to bring his heart be up a acceptable speed and put his room at acceptable temperature.
Yeah, but Arthur's heart was going way too fast.
As
So
Fang
yeah,
as Fang said, you can die on me now. You're literally the only friend I have. As
and yeah, and then yeah, Arthur. Yeah, then Fang saw a note right next to Arthur's bed, and it read,
as
and it said, "Read if my heart is going way too, if my heart is beeping in an immense rate."
as Fang opened the note and said, "Okay, what do I have to do for you, bud?"
And yeah, and it said, "If I am, if you're reading this, my heart is beating way too fast than normal. If it is, try to call me the best way you can."
As Fang said, "Okay, Arthas, it's me, your friend. If you got a
And
problem,"
yeah, and then it also says, "If you can't do it alone, bring my."
as Fang said, "Okay, Mai, get in here. It's Arthas." Arth, Bar- Arthas' heart. It's beating way too fast. Meaning to, let's see,
Yeah.
that's the cue. As Mai came up to the deck to see Ar- Arthas and saw his heart was beating way too fast and stand next to him in his bed while Fang is trying to calm him down in the best way possible.
And Mileage started to try to calm Arthas down as well.
As Fang said, Don't don't worry, you icy fool. We'll stay here as long as you need. So say the word.
And yeah, the moment Arthas felt Mai's touch, he actually started to calm down a bit, but only a bit.
As Fang touched Arthur's hand to it and said, "It's okay, bro. We be here. To dusk to dawn."
And yeah, and yeah, Arthas would start to tear up in his sleep, and under his breath would say, "Mother."
As Fang said, huh, "So this is all about." As Fang said, "It's okay. It's okay, Arthur's. It's okay." As Fang and Mai didn't leave his side for the next few days.
And yeah, Arthas felt very calm with Fang, and especially Mai's presence.
And after a few weeks of staying uh Mai Mai and Fang, things things started to calm down a bit.
Yeah, in fact, for Arthas, things calmed down greatly,
And
and he
and by the
was very calm and in sleep, in his slumber.
yes, and by the time and by the time Arthas wakes up, Fang immediately tackled him down with a hug, and Fang said, "Don't you dare worry me like that again, icy fool."
And yeah, you're just like, I'm sorry,
As Fang said,
my
"You
friend.
got it."
Just
As as Fang
memories
saw
popped
what he
up
was
in
doing,
mine.
and immediately breaks a hug and said, "But if you didn't see anything, I didn't do anything. I'm glad you're feeling better."
And yeah, you're just like, yeah. And
As Mai
yeah,
said,
he would remember everything that happened during his sleep because yeah, he was semi awake, like only like 5% awake. So he heard and felt everything outside his dreams and nightmares.
as Mai pulled Artemis' hand and said, "It's okay. It's okay, matey. We we be with you as your new family, or friends, if you like, baby steps."
It yeah, he would be covering his eye that was his black and white eye, and yeah, there would be a lot of tears coming out of his eyes.
As Fang gave him a box of tissues and said, "Here."
And yeah, the moment he would, and yeah, the moment he would try to wipe on white with it, yeah, it would just go straight through it.
As Fang said, "Well, don't don't worry, big guy. We are here for you for emotional support."
And yeah, he would, and yeah, they would notice that like a part of his face is a lot like it's acting as if he's closing one of his eyes while covering it at the same time.
As Fang said, "What's happening there?"
And yeah, then he would remove his hand, and slowly open his eye, and yeah, it would look like the colors for his the black and white for of that eye were swapped.
As Fang said, uh, oh, I seen this, I seen this so many times myself. As
And
Fang said,
yeah, like the but there was like actually red on that eye this time, like sh- as if it was strained, like it was straining itself.
as Fang put his hand on his side and said, "Don't let your past hold you back. That would only drain you emotionally and physically, and in this case, mentally."
And
And again,
yeah, my noticed that his other eye was slowly swapping its colors as well.
as my put his hand on his other shoulder, saying, "My little cousin is right, but don't worry. We make sure we don't let your past ever hold you back."
And
Uh,
yeah, we're just and yeah, and even more tears would start to come down his face.
as both Bang and my start hugging Artemis, and Fang said, "It's okay. Let it go."
And yeah, with Arthur's not remembering the feeling of happiness so much, yeah, inside his mind he's starting to freak out.
As Fang said, "It's okay if you freak out. I know you're not very good with positive reinforcements yet, but what you're feeling right now is called happiness.
And
Happiness is
yeah,
how
he
things
remembers the emotion, he just doesn't remember feeling it. So he's definitely gonna be afraid of feeling it sometimes. Especially now, since he's feeling so much happiness that, yeah, he feels like he's about to pass out.
as Fang said, "It's okay. I know you. I know you're about to freak out because of all this, but you. It's natural to react like that. Just calm. Just calm your mind and do what you think feels right.
And
Ex-
yeah, he would pass out because
as
he feels like he needs to calm himself through his mind.
Fang said, "Well, that's one way to do with happiness." As
And
Fang
yeah, then his head would land on my shoulder.
as Fang said, "Night, big guy." As Fang says, "Went to sleep." As Mai said, "Good night, you two. Good night, you two." As Mai sleeps with them too.
And yeah, and then we get into Arthur's dream during that night. We see a landscape. We just see endless water with him on a small rack and dead bodies everywhere.
And sometimes until he gets a dead body that's somewhat familiar.
Yeah, then, but he couldn't exactly remember it well. Not too well, that is. At least, not when it was. When, At least not the back of it. Then he turned it around, and it was his little sister.
and yes, he is devastated. And
And yeah, he blames himself for that day because he feels like if he was stronger, he could have done something that day.
as he finally woke up from his dream and saw both Fang and my sleeping.
Yeah, but actually, no, he was still asleep. And then he, in this nightmare, also showed another body that wasn't there before in the last time he was here. Is yeah, all his nightmare, every single nightmare is the same thing, except this time it's different. He saw the people that he met before, not too long ago, and then two bodies in the middle of the all those bodies,
This was his.
which was Mai and Fang. And yeah, this new version of the nightmare scared him so much that yeah, lightning started like his body, the entire his body started uh, like produce lightning from the inside of his body started to produce lightning.
So this means his new dream involving two people he's only just met dying him thinking he was a servant.
Yeah, and yeah, he immediately thinks that it's his fault that this happened.
But after a whole bunch of hours after that,
And yeah, mine and yeah, on the outside world, when Arthur's body started to produce lightning from the inside and only the inside, mine started to feel, and only mine started to feel like something like lightning near her. And yeah, she opened her eyes and see like lightning inside Arthur's skin, just starting to show up.
as my thought she should do something about this.
And yeah, and she heard her name under his breath this time.
As mine said, Arthas, I'm right here.
And yeah, she realized that he's still asleep.
As my thinks, I need to read this name.
And yeah, the moment she got close, like touched him, yeah, he immediately grabbed onto her and held her close.
As Fang woke up and said, "What's the?" As Fang saw how close Arthas and his cousin are, and said, "Aw,
And yeah,
cute."
then Fang then saw lightning like under Arthur's skin, and him crying a lot more than he was when he was awake earlier.
As Fang
Yeah,
And
but he slowly saw the lightning glow away. Slowly, but like very slowly. Like every minute,
and
a part like one lightning bolt would go away, like just disappear after a minute. Each minute,
Fang then get closer to Tasman like Yoris to help him stop crying. But the same thing happened to Fang.
yeah, but actually, Arthas just Arthas just was still holding on to May, just and like just in a broken voice, still saying her name.
As Mai said, yes, I'm still here. You don't have to be afraid. I will stay. Don't say a
And
word.
yeah, he still and his tears started to he started to have more tears going through down his eyes, and yeah, he's still asleep.
As Fang and Mai decide to stay a little bit longer so he can feel better.
And yeah, and we go back into Arthur's dream, and we see sh- a person imbued by like surrounded by shadows, by a shadow. Basically, we are not able to see who this person is, and Arthur's is trying to punch him out of rage and sadness, but can't even touch him.
Until just a little bit of shadows slowly reveal who he was trying to attack.
But no. Instead, it just track. It just whatever force this person was using pushed him back to where he was, and he would never find out who this person was. And yeah, and when Arthur started to hear Mai's words, it calmed down to a point where his dream changed to something a lot more calming.
And making sure that he have a very pleasant sleep.
And yeah, and on the outside world, do you notice that Arthur's body is producing a smell is of a very beautiful type of flower, which also smelled be- beautifully, and it was also only producing the smell of it.
As we sniff, and said, it smells like a flower I haven't smelled in years.
And yeah, since Mai was a lot closer than Fang, yeah, she could smell it way better, technically.
As Mai said, yeah, you're right.
And yeah, and in the spot where where he had her head, which was near his chest, his body produced a smell right there where a smell that she loved, to a type of smell that she loved.
As Fang said, "Huh, this big guy really cares about us, doesn't he?"
And yeah, he would just, and he would be very calm now, to the point where, yeah, his eyes stopped watering.
As Fang said, "Oh no, he's crying again."
No, they stopped crying. His eyes stopped leaking tears, and yeah, he just still in his sleep. He gave off a crazy warm smile,
As Fang survived that smile, always feel more heart warm smile.
and yeah, Arthur lowered his head and just had his head lowered towards Arthur's head for the rest of it.
This seemed like a good spot. Guess what happened?
And that's where we're gonna end it off. Anyway, sorry for the cliffhanger. Anyway, if you guys like this, let's subscribe and comment for more. I'm Lord Netsu,
And I'm Crimson. There'll be a link to my channel down in the description.
and we'll see you guys next time.